Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. Is your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief AP Gaines here, and for the summer of 69th, we're having a collaboration every video. So today we are joined by the illustrious, beautiful, and handsome, and other words to describe how amazing he is. It's just Ian. Ian, how are you doing today, my friend?
Very good. Thank you for having me yet again.
Always a pleasure. We just did a video over on his channel. I'm not sure when it's going to go up, but I will try to link to it in the description. We are going to talk about all of the things in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that are tedious, that are annoying, and that are frustrating us as of the last month, because a lot of sentiment in the community has been some changes, especially for later game players and people who've been playing for a long time. Not necessarily good for the health of the game. Right off the bat, I've been talking to a lot of guys on Twitch like Ram Bam and all the good memers over on Twitch. And this GC, Ian, have you had trouble with this GC? Is it just like ridiculously annoying for you? The new Gunray one. No, the Newt Gunray Galactic Challenge. They go in, they somehow prevent you from reviving. I can't figure out the mechanic.
Oh, dude,
it's so annoying.
So that's a clone one. Yeah, I had a remod for that one, and it took me a good hour of just like retrying and hoping that the sniper droid sniped off somebody different that was not Rex or Fives. It was so annoying. I don't like the clones. My biggest complaint is for the feats and having to use clones, because clones are just like, they're good, but like for most of them you kind of have to have the Bad Batch and to make them a lot easier. And guess what? I ain't got the Bad Batch, bro. I don't got them. I don't got them.
Yeah, I've noticed
I
trend recently in the GC is it's forcing us to use characters for feats that don't necessarily help beat the team that you're going up against. There was one where it was like use droids, and the team was like a GG counter or like a droid counter, and I was like, you could maybe remod and put like squad arena mods on like your best droids and get some good RNG. But at that point, is it really worth it? Is it really worth the crates to spend an hour remodding or whaling to get Bad Batch or doing this, that, or the other just to get an extra crate? At the end of the day, is it really that worth it, Ian?
If you're talking to me like a month ago, then yes, it was. But like right now, probably not. Probably not.
Long gone are the days of you need Bando just to get the new slicing materials. And guess what? I wasted like 4 months of my life getting him. And now, what is not a requirement to get the new slicing materials? The new Mandalorian characters.
I think for that, I got him just 7-star level 1 gear 1. Just so I can even attempt for those ones. And I wasted some gear. I think I got my Quill and IG-11 like gear 7 or 8, just so I can barely get him unlocked. And I haven't touched him since. So
I did the same.
That was all done for that.
Exactly. I did the exact same thing. I got him to like gear 7 just so that he could like survive one hit and I could complete a couple of feats at the same time. Next on our list, Conquest. Conquest, they took away cooling systems. Obviously, it's not as broken. It's still doable. It's still easy. I mean, like, you still get through it just fine. The problem is the feats are now way too tedious and annoying without some of the gamey mechanics that we used to be able to use. Do you have a problem with this Conquest change? Is it just annoying? Have you gotten the red crate already? Are you even considering attempting the red crate if you haven't got it already?
I've gotten it on both of my accounts. I was struggling for a hot second, like a couple days, on the Rey Sector 4. I could not beat her. I just could not beat it. I was like so dead set on refreshing my energy and like going in and in and in again. That kind of sounded kind of sexual. Anyways, but Rey, I had to get these discs. So I'm not sure if you guys know about these ones or not, but like probably the best disc in the game for like right now, I feel like that's not a purple disc, is called the Ruthless Swiftness one. I'm not sure if you have it or not right now, AP, but this one says whenever an enemy falls below 100% health, all allies gain 27% turn meters. So
I have
not only is that
right
super
now.
huge in that Rey one, but like it's huge in everything. You get so much TM gain. There's also another disc that is not a purple one that gives you the same thing, but instead of TM, you get offense. So you have those ones, and then you combine those with the Deadly Momentum one, which is the purple disc. And then you have those three. You're thinking about fully autoing teams in Conquest, whether it's Sector 1 or Sector 5, with like Gear 12 characters. You can go in with Geos, and you can auto stuff. And my Geos are Gear 12, and I can auto stuff. It's crazy. But anyways, before I had those discs unlocked, it was a living hell. I hated Conquest. So it kind of goes to show you having those discs and what they can change for you in a Conquest setting. Beforehand, I was absolutely hating Conquest. I still kind of don't like it as much, but like once I got those, it made it a lot more like breathable. I could actually like, wow, I'm not hating my life. I'm actually kind of enjoying playing Conquest, autoing teams. I'm not sure why I like autoing stuff without having to worry, but it gives me clarity of mind knowing that I'm gonna be okay in the very end of this whole Conquest. Just like I'm okay. Thank you, discs.
Are
Thank
you
you
okay
that.
though? I Are you
Honestly,
okay?
it's like that one emo song, I'm not okay. That's kind of me like all the time. Not okay.
It's okay. I feel you there. I, on the other hand, got no good discs. I have no purple discs. I've gone through
Yuck.
all 5 sectors. I use I use a lot of stacking offense because I tend to use teams that give a lot of buffs. I also have a lot of caustic emissions or amplify agonies if I use a debuff team. I don't do
Oh
hard
yeah.
conquest, so I don't have to worry about saving up for those max buys of Commander Ahsoka Tano to get her within 3 months as opposed to 4 months. So mixing and matching data cards is not that big of a deal for me. But I got a couple of ruthless swiftnests, a couple of ruthless deliberations. I know how to speak English.
Is that the offense one?
The ruthless deliberation is the armor shred healing immunity one. It's a one.
Ooh.
It's a 1 dot, and it's incredibly helpful, especially for earlier game players who are going against maybe the GLs. Because one thing I do actually like about the new conquest changes is that they changed the sector bosses to more challenging teams. I much rather prefer facing SLKR and Ray and CLS and Gas and Darth Revan as opposed to like teams that made absolutely no sense, had no synergy in the past. I like that added challenge, and my issue with Conquest recently has not been the challenge because I quite enjoy it. It's the tedium. It's the going back. I just happen to not get any good data discs that are good for getting feats done. I can't go into the
Yeah.
SLKR Sector 5 and do whatever the feat is to get those. So I'm getting a worse crate than I got in the past, obviously, because I can't game the system. But it is just annoying to know that there are big sections of the game that I can't do simply because I didn't have the right data disk drops at the end of the day. And that's something that I really, really do not like about the Conquest. I wish maybe we would get more options, or you could pick from the whole catalog every time you got to one of those. Something like that. Something to make sure that the
Yeah.
RNG doesn't screw over some players as opposed to others.
Yeah. I've felt that. I don't really have that big of an issue because I feel like I've always gotten lucky with the discs, but I know a lot of people out there who they get like awful luck and it takes them forever. Yeah, they can still probably get it done at the end of the day, but it takes them forever. And at that point, it's like, why even bother? It's like I'm spending so much time doing this, you know? So
Exactly.
I
Now the
feel you.
last
I feel you.
the last thing I want to talk about before we hop out is the new GAC changes. As we talked about in your video, I watched a lot of Twitch streamers last night just to get a general sense for how other content creators feel about the new changes. I like the fact, and I've spoken about, I like the fact that we have to use more teams. I'm showing you can't see right now, but I'm showing my GAC.
Okay.
My girlfriend's actually going to play this. It was an auto set, so she wins by default if she can clear one team. But that's another thing, is a lot of people are auto setting, not because more teams, but because 3v3 is not as popular as I think CG wishes it was. It's annoying. It can be fun because it's longer. There are more teams. How do you feel about 3v3? I watched a good chunk of your stream, and you seem to be, flying through it because, of course, you're a
Yeah.
good GAC player. But how do you
I
feel
don't know about that. Okay.
about how do you feel about just 3v3, the new update, the sense in the community of how it's going for the first round?
I think I don't know yet because it's so fresh with the new changes of GAC and having to set more teams and fight more teams. I don't know if it's that yet, but I still think it's just like a 3v3 thing where people just don't really have that much interest into it. So they kind of either, you know, they just auto set, they don't even think about it, they just join for rewards and that's it, or they do join and they either make it a living hell for you, setting the hardest defenses on earth, or they just make it super simple on themselves, set like nothing for defense and then just full clear, make it easy peasy. So I I think for now I'm having an okay time. I have two different accounts. One's in Div 2 and one's in Div 1. The Div 1 account, it's 8 million GP. That is rough. That is a struggle bus. I saved all GLs. The other guy that I fought saved all GLs, and I barely was able to clear his squads. and I saved a lot for offenses, and just keeping that with me going forward. I am now very afraid to set very strong defenses, or really any good defenses whatsoever. I want to just save really everything for offenses, and I don't want to play like that in GAC. It's just like not my favorite way to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, I'm not trying to be a pessimistic person about GAC and 3v3 right now, but it could easily get to a point where I hate it, and I just get to a point where I just set the exact same stuff and just get into this repetitive mode and not really having a fun time with it. I think that's the thing with 3v3. You just get really repetitive stuff. In 5v5, I still felt that way, but like not as much. And it was 5v5, so I actually liked playing the mode. So I don't know. I know a lot of people out there, they're not liking it right now. And it kind of goes to show because, looking at people's videos, creators like Arnold or Cubs, their views on 3v3 are not that high. And I think kind of goes to show you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed.
My 2 cents.
I scroll through, on not on my AP Gains account, but on my personal like YouTube account that I actually watch videos on. I'm subscribed to pretty much every content creator I can get my hands on just to see, what the sentiment is, or when I do videos like this. And I've noticed that in 3v3, the only thing that does well is the teams to use for 3v3, and then it falls off because no one thinks about 3v3 very frequently. No one's really got 3v3 on their mind at all times. So they watch the video, they find the 30 best 3v3 character or 3v3 teams, they slap some stuff on defense, and then they just wait and then hope the month ends quickly. Do you think we're getting to a point where 3v3 is going to be less frequent, or you're going to have to opt in to do a 5v5 or a 3v3? Do you think we're getting to a point where maybe the community is just kind of fed up with the frequency of the 3v3?
Well, I mean, beforehand, it wasn't very frequent, but now it is. And I think it would be smart for CG to kind of back off a bit on 3v3 after this season and stick with 5v5, or maybe even go to the extent of adding more modes, like different 4v4, 6v6, or I don't know, just something a bit different. And just having a bit more of a variety. I can't talk. Stutters. But yeah, 3v3, I feel like it just got to a point where it's just very stale and it's so repetitive. I mean, I can say the same thing about really anything in the game, but for now, GAC 3v3, it feels already repetitive, and it's just the first day. I know this video is going to be, done in the past, and this will be in the future, but like it feels repetitive already, and that's a bad sign, dude. It's a bad sign.
You got one more month of it, man.
Yeah. So.
All right, man. Well, thank you for hopping on. Are you enjoying your summer of the 69th, where we're trying to get 6,969 subscribers by the end of summer? Are you enjoying it?
Dude, we got to get you there, man. We'll get you there for sure.
We got to get me there.
If not, I'll send some bots over to sub for you.
Yeah, I'm going to deny that for legal purposes. But
okay.
All right, man. Thanks for hopping on. As always, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you later.